Okay, we're back. Truth be told, my phone ran out of storage and I had to clear some storage to keep going with this lecture. But praise God, because that has been done. A lot of junk is now off my phone in effort to continue this educational journey with you. And so now we will talk about just a brief recap. Frame of reference is a point at which, like a perspective. Okay, frame of reference is kind of the perspective. What we talk about motion and moving, but what's moving, who's moving in relation to what. Okay, train car example. You're sitting in the train car. Your mom looks like she's walking up and down the train car, but you don't look like you're moving. But if I'm standing outside the train car and the train car goes by me, the train zooms past me, it looks like all three of you are moving to me. Okay, so frame of reference is kind of fancy talk for perspective. Okay, but let's talk about a system. Okay, a system is probably, it has a little intricate kind of definition to it in the world of physics, and a system is a portion of the larger motion that we're interested in studying. Okay, that's a bunch of fancy talk, and I'm going to explain it for you now. So let's talk about a basketball game. Okay, let's say you go to a basketball game. Who's all moving? What all is in motion? What's all in motion? Well, the players, right? Maybe the referees. What about the basketball itself? It's being moved, pass, dribble, shoot. The coaches are there. Fans are there. There's a lot of people like moving. There's a lot of motion, okay, in this large scale. But the thing is we want to talk about a specific part of the larger scale, and that's what we call a system. A system is a smaller portion of the larger idea. So in this example, let's say the basketball. We want to know the movement of the basketball. That would be a system, okay? The basketball is a system in the larger portion, okay? We can ignore everything else and just talk about that system of the basketball. Okay, I hope that makes sense. A system is just a smaller part of a bigger whole, okay? So which brings me to my probably the last point in this first part. Again, I like to take this brief moment in the middle of these videos to, if you're watching these videos, which I hope you are at some point, I pray that the Lord lets them upload and you can watch them swimmingly. Make sure you put them on 2x speed, okay? Like, my goodness, I would have put this video on 2x speed a while ago. If you're making it to this point, it's not on 2x speed. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, I feel bad for you. But just, get through the videos, watch them. I want you to get the high points of the videos. Don't get bogged down with learning every single little detail. I know it's going to be hard watching and learning on the videos. I will be back and I will go through all this again to some extent in my examples, and I will help you along the way. Again, email me if you need something, but this is now the point in the video where I like to mention that amongst these videos, I hide these little hidden messages. And I will do that now and tell you that blue gorillas like to climb trees for bananas, okay? And so the first one to respond to me with all these hidden messages, I can get some sort of prize of some kind. I don't know what that will be yet. But point being, after that long pause, let's now get back to it. Let's wrap it up here with distance versus displacement, okay? This is like the meat and potatoes of probably the chapter, okay? Distance, you probably are familiar with that term, okay? Distance is how far you travel, right? For example, let's talk about how far you live away from the school. Me, I live about 5 miles from the school, okay? So I live 5 miles away from the school both directions. So if I leave my house in the morning or my apartment in the morning, then I have traveled 5 miles, correct? What about when I leave the school and come back home? in the afternoon. How far did I travel then? I'll give you a brief, awkward moment to think about such. And now, after that awkward moment, the answer is yes, 5 miles again, okay? The total distance I traveled is 10 miles, okay? 10 miles. Another key point for distance is that distance cannot be negative, okay? Distance cannot be negative. Think about the example of traveling from your house to the school. If you go 5 miles, do you go negative 5 miles when you go back home? No, you just go 5 miles again, okay? Distance cannot be negative. It is not negative. That is very important. Distance is not a negative quantity, okay? It is cumulative, meaning it adds together, and it is not negative. But let's talk about the counterpoint, and that is displacement, okay? Displacement. Sometimes distance is not a very accurate representation of how far you've traveled, okay? Again, physics is very big into definitions and the wording and all that junk, okay? So, displacement is the change, the amount of change from the original starting point, okay? So, we use this Greek symbol, delta, which is like a little triangle in front of the X, okay? The symbol delta means change in, okay? So you literally read this delta X as in change in X, okay? That's what that little triangle means. That's the Greek symbol for delta, and it means change in, okay? So